Hello everyone, I'm Ben Jammin from Jammin Studios. I'm back with another 2D platformer video. In this video, we are going to actually make a state machine for our player. Now, a state machine actually is a very good thing to have in these games. They allow the characters in these games to have certain functions with certain aspects. So in this game, we're going to have a state called in air and a state called in floor, which we'll be making in this video. Now, in these two states, we need to actually think about things that are going to be in it, like aspects. So it would be nice to actually draw like a Venn diagram or a tree of sorts to actually write down your ideas of what you want to do. So you can write player at the top, and then branching off of that player is basically the different states that you want to have. And then with these states, you want to make sure that they have certain aspects in these states that will be running. And then you can see like, is there any overlapping? Is there things that we can combine, or should we actually just separate this out? Would it be better? And it can also help you out so that you can see things that you have written down and you can either add or subtract from it. And it also is a good check mark as to see if you are fully getting to that state and fully utilizing it for its purpose. And that's what we're basically going to be doing today. We have two states, in air and in on floor. So in air, we can move left and right, but we cannot jump. I believe that is it for that. On floor, we can move left and right. We can also jump. And then there's also going to be certain animations. This is what I almost forgot about this, but we're going to be having certain animations for each of these states so that you know which state we're in. I mean, you obviously know which state based on the name of it, but so that there's certain animations that go along with it as well. And we need to go back and forth between these states. And these back and forth, if we want to go from in air to on floor, it's basically just landing on the floor, that there is something underneath us that we are walking on. And to get from on floor to in air, we either need to jump or actually walk off the edge, and we'll be in the air. And that's how you flip between those two states. And that's what is going to be happening in this video today. So if you like this kind of content and you like this video, please like it down below. And if you like the content that I am posting, please subscribe. I really appreciate these things. And if you want to be notified by any of the content that I create, then please hit the bell down below. So let's just get right into it and go over to our player. Where is it? There it is, our player scene. And we're just going to go in, and to create a state machine, we are going to create a Enum called state, and we're going to do air, comma, floor. I like to capitalize these so that you know that it's a state. And then we also need to set a variable var state there. Then in our physics process function, we are going to do you can do if state equals 1, pass if else state equals 2, pass. Now, the thing about these enums, oh, sorry. Now, the thing about these enums is that you see I have written down as state equals 1 and state equals 2. Now, that is not, it doesn't look like it's right, because up here we have the capital S for state as air and floor. These are the only two things that it can equal. But enums are not acting like this is air and this is floor. They are acting as if they are lists. So this is 1 and this is 2. But you can actually have this happen. You can do state equals air, something like that. Now it would actually be more of this state equals state.air. And this would work. This would now equal 1, and we would actually be doing if state equals 1. Now this is very inefficient, and in this case we are actually going to do a match function. So match state, and then if air pass, and then if was that floor pass. This is the most efficient. Oh wait, maybe it's sorry. Air, floor. Hold on, give me a sec. I see what I've done. I actually have to do state dot air and state dot floor. So this is basically just like the if statement, the if else statement that we wrote before, except now it matches. And this is way more efficient than before. So this function, this match, is looking at state, and if it equals the state.air, then it will run that, and if it equals state.floor, it will run that. This is basically how this is going to work. But we actually have to initialize it, and so far right now my character in the game is in the air, so we're going to do state equals state.air. And that's how we initialize it. And then in order for the state machine to actually work, we were going to need to put stuff in these pass instead. And we can then start on that. Oh, hold on. All right, so now we have to think about this critically. What do we want in the state of air? So we are in the air. I said that we wanted to move left and right. So we should copy this, all this. So we want to move left and right. So we can get rid of that and add it to here. So now when we paste, all this indents back. And we just do Control Tab, and it moves it up. Just like that. So when we move left, we want the velocity to be our speed that we've set. That is true. We do want that. Do we want to flip the sprite? That is also true. If is on floor. See, now we don't need this if is on floor function anymore for the animation to walk because of these state machines. So we can actually just get rid of this. Just like that. And then we can do the exact same thing for the right. Get rid of the animation for it. And it should be just fine. And it looks like it is the exact same. Now we do want to try and find where we put the animation for jumping. And it is on floor. If not on floor, right here. Okay. So right here, this is where we have the animation for if we're not on the floor, so we are in the air. Which looks like we stop the animation from playing, and then we actually create a sprite frame of 10. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to extinguish that and put it right up here. Now we do not need this if statement anymore. We just get rid of that. And we can then just do the exact same thing over here. Boom, there we go. And now I'm pretty sure that that is good as well for this state, the state in air. Now we want to put the is on floor thing here. We can actually just do this, copy and paste that to the floor. Now we want to get rid of this animation, and so we'll do animation dot play walk. Just like that. And we'll do the exact same thing over here. Boom. So when we are in the air, we can still move left and right, but we have our own animation frames right there. Now that is done, I think, to the best of my knowledge. For the floor, we have a little more than we have. We need just a little more here. But for the left and right, that is fine. We do need to, however, get rid of this jump function. We need this to go into the floor function because we want to jump in the floor and we do not want to jump in the air. So when we get this down and create it as an elif, we have then completed that as well. We can just hit enter to just kind of space these things out as well. And we also have gravity installed, but here's the thing. We don't need gravity when we're on the floor, so we want to then delete this, and we also want to delete, I think that as well. We can just comment this out, just in case. Yes, so we want to then add that in as well, so that gravity will then drag us down to the ground. We do not need to be dragged to the ground on the floor because we are already on the floor. And when we are idling, then we need to play idle. Now this here, I do not want to play the idle when we're in the air. When we're on the floor though, and we are not moving, that is when I want to play it. So we can actually just get rid of these functions right here, the ifs I mean, and we have this. So we just need to get rid of this and place it right here. There. And then that way, if our velocity x equals 0, we will be playing an idle animation instead of a walking animation. And if we are idle up here, meaning we are not moving left or right, we still are on this sprite frame that we've set here. And we need to continually move with that as well. But I almost forgot one thing as well. If we are not moving left or right, we need to then create an else function for the velocity in the x direction. So velocity x equals lerp velocity dot x to 0 by, let's go 0.2 for now. That should be good. We then also need to add this to the walking. If we're on the floor, jump. This, we're just gonna put this right here and just call it else for now, because now I'm realizing right now that we are not going to have this as an if else right here. It's not going to be jump force. We are going to make this to where we can where we are going to switch states right here in this up. When we jump, it's going to switch states to the air. So we need to do state dot air right there. And so when we jump, we switch over to this. And then when we land, we're going to switch over to this. But that's going to cause a little more than just putting it up here as well. So now the next thing we need to do, there's actually a sort of comparison that these two both have, and that is moving and falling. So we can actually combine both of those, and these two states will still work out, and we get to eliminate just a little bit of code, not a whole lot, but just a little bit. This also shows that this is possible to do this among many functions and many states. So this one we're just going to create right here, called func. So we are moving and falling. So move and fall right there. This is how you basically create a function. We're just going to write pass there for now. Actually, this right here, we're going to take this and move it right there. Then we're going to take this, which is our gravity. Do that. And place it right there. So we have our fall right here and our move right there. Actually, here. You know what? To keep it consistent. Now we have our move right there and our fall right there, because this is our move and fall function. And we're going to be calling this after every single state that we have, because we have air and floor, and this helps us. So the way we had it was we had it right here. So if we called it move and fall right there, well, what if we had states where we didn't want to use move and fall? We had, you can think of ladders or jump pads or cobwebs, literally any state where you don't need a fall function or you don't need a move. Well, this is why. This is why we don't want to have our move and fall function to be at the end, so shared among all of them. We can share it among just a few of these states. So we're going to call move and fall right here, and then at the end of the floor function, we're going to call move and fall right there, and just get rid of that. And so this basically will help us in the near future when we do plan on adding more states. As of right now, we only have the air and floor, and so it's not that big of a deal right now. But if we progress further and add more aspects into the game, then yeah, this would help us. Do I plan on adding more things? As of right now, I do not know. We could add in ladders. We could do that. We could add in wall jumping. Now that is, it's almost like a standard for some platformer games. I know a lot of people don't have them, but you can still add it in. I still think I will still be adding wall jumps into the game. I do plan on that because it is a momentum to 2D platformers. So don't worry, we will be adding wall jumps in later, just not in this video. Maybe the next one, because I am working on state machines right now, so we might work on the wall jumping for the next one. Oh wait. All right. So yeah, just want to make sure. So now to finish off the air function, the air state really quickly, at the top, we are going to actually create it to where we can switch to the floor state. Now this is pretty simple, pretty easy. If is on floor, then we want the state to equal the state dot floor. And this will make it so that when we, as soon as we hit the floor, we will switch to the floor state. Now this, I would suggest putting this at the top of the state function, because every single program runs from top to bottom. And so when it hits this, it'll switch over to the floor state and it won't run the majority of its code, because we don't want the floor to have some of the air state. Now, in other games, when this becomes a little more complicated, then yes, this is exactly what you want, because there may be like different states that do totally different things and you don't want to mix them up. So this is why I would suggest having this at the top. So now to finish off the episode, we are going to then do these exact same thing to the floor state, but if not is on floor, then state equals state dot air. Then we want to make sure, yep, that is right. Oh, okay. So I do have idle. Yeah, we can get rid of that then, because we have this happening, and we also have that happening up here as well. So, do I want to merge these two? That's the thing. Yeah. So let's put this idle animation with the slowing down. We also have this move and fall right here, and no, we want this to continue to jump. So I think we just control save and we test run. Let's try that out. We jump. Oh, and it just zooms away. This guy is now zooming. All right, that means we need to fix its speed. So let's go and quickly fix its speed. It's probably super fast right now. I think I know why. because I don't think it has a cap. Yeah, it doesn't have a cap. So let's put this on like 50 because there's no acceleration right now, and that needs to be fixed. Okay, yeah. So it speeds up. He speeds up pretty fast. So let's go with 1. He's just gonna speed up. Okay, very slow, but yeah, you get the point. You guys get the point. He zoomed away like there's nothing else. Like he just robbed a bank and you want to get away from him. No pun intended, because he's a cop. This is a criminal. But that is how you run a state machine. I need to fix the accelerations and tweak a little things here and there. But other than that, that is how you run a state machine. That is how you do it. This isn't the only way, of course. There are multiple other ways, but this is the way that I like to do it, and maybe you will too. But this has been Ben Jam Studios, signing off.